I practice and preach civility outside of the mat. As soon as I cross the circle, I'm coming for blood. I won ACCs twice. I was a 3-time All-American, most wins in a career, top 10 in NCAA history. My biggest thing is trying to make athletes conscious of the words that they're using. This is about how we treat one another. When we diminish others, we only diminish ourselves. How do we empower as many people as possible to have a voice? My given name is Herbert Hudson Taylor IV. It's a mouthful. I started wrestling when I was like 5. I didn't care whether I won or lost. I don't think I knew whether I was winning or losing. Little did I know that I was implicitly learning all the tricks and kind of gaining the muscle awareness to become a successful wrestler. And my high school was actually the #1 ranked wrestling high school in the country. Ended up being a top-ranked recruit and really had my option to probably go to a lot of different schools. When it came to the University of Maryland, I believed that I could accomplish all of my athletic goals, but also accomplish all of my academic goals. I spent 4 years as a college wrestler. Wrestling is part of who I am, it's part of how I see myself and how I, by virtue of that, interact with the world. Homophobic language has always been something that I've experienced both on and off the mat, in locker rooms, on teams, even sometimes from our coaches. I was a theater major at the University of Maryland. While there, I'd say in the first month of class, I had classmates and friends who started to come out. Seeing them take that step to being truer to themselves really made it personal in a way that it hadn't been before. And then to go back to the locker room, back with the people who I should be most in line with, and hear them use that homophobic and derogatory and demeaning language made me realize that this wasn't what I wanted of my sport, this isn't what I want of my teammates, and made me realize that I was in a unique position to do something about it. I think sport should be a space for everyone, and as athletes, we are leaders, and as leaders, we have the ability to make it a space for everyone. Leah and I met my freshman year of college, and we pretty much started dating right then and there. She is a major reason I'm doing the work that I'm doing now, who said, you know, Hudson, this is the right thing to do, and you should be louder, you should be more vocal. Athlete Ally is a nonprofit organization dedicated to educating and empowering the straight allies in sports to speak out against homophobia and transphobia. A lot of the work that I do stems from me traveling to various schools and talking to the athletic departments, talking to the captains, talking to the coaches, and really just educating them about the voice that they can have and the difference they can make in the lives of others. I have a pledge that I've encouraged a lot of different folks to sign. So it's the Athlete Ally Pledge. It's an affirmative statement that says, you know, I pledge to living by a new standard of athletic integrity and welcoming and respecting all people regardless of their perceived or actual sexual orientation, gender identity, or gender expression. This all started with that first initial pledge and trying to get as many athletes and coaches to sign the pledge as possible, because that's an enormous statement to have a coach or a team sign that pledge collectively. Now, Athlete Ally, we have about almost 30 Athlete Ally ambassadors at universities across the country. And these are student athletes who want to make a difference on their team, at their school. There's always an assumption that in order to be an ally, you must be gay, or you must have a sibling or a friend who's immediately affected by LGBT issues. And the truth was, you know, while I was a theater major and I knew kids who were coming out, it was more about respect and about creating an inclusive culture. An ally is defined by what you say and what you do. So if you are inclusive and respectful of other people through your words and actions, by virtue of that, you are an ally. Hold the deck for me. Yeah, just right at the fingertips, that's perfect.
As a member of the LGBT community myself, I simply never will be that straight ally. What Hudson is doing to have the courage to defy the status quo speaks volumes and basically transcends anything that we would hope to do.
This is the gym. This is where we have our home wrestling duels. So we'll put the mat in the center and we'll put bleachers up around. As a coach, it's a little different. The power dynamic is different. My role as a leader is different. So I've treaded carefully because I don't want to be forcing any athletes to have specific beliefs. I just want to enable a safe culture. So the way that I've primarily tried to do that, both at Columbia and elsewhere, is by trying to instill an honor code. Really just be conscious of your words and make other people feel safe and included in our athletic space. Increasingly, we're having more and more athletes come out, and that is making coaches aware that this is not something that is foreign, this is not something that doesn't affect them. And when that happens, we'll be able to compete at our very best. We'll be able to also look back on our time as athletes and leaders and really be proud of the legacy that we've left behind. We're all in this together, so I think it's important for us to share the responsibility of changing the athletic culture together.